Okay, guys, before I start talking about the second episode of Chivalry of a Failed Knight, I have to bring something up that I saw on Anime News Network, or actually, I saw someone linking to it. And a news article on that Anime News Network was: this harem show has become so stale that two shows in the fall season has the same plot. And you know what that was? One of them was Chivalry of the Failed Knight, and the second was Azaric Wars. And let me say it like this: I'm really pissed at that because after watching this episode, the new characters introduced in this one here, they has better they have better story than anyone in the freaking Azaric Wars. And I tell you, if that lolly in Azaric Wars isn't good, you can expect me to be really angry and tell you to drop that fucking trash show. I fucking won't stand for that shit. However, when that is said and done, let's get into the second episode of Chivalry of a Failed Knight, where we find out that our main character Iki has a sister called Suzuki. And let me say it like this: at first I thought she was evil, because the first thing she does is kissing our main character, and when she is like asked what she thinks she's doing, she's saying she kissed him because that is normal for though, or it would be normal because even in shallow love or stuff, they can that happens. So it wouldn't be surprising for them if they was to, you know, do it. And this, of course, is like everybody said, like that is not normal. But we find out that the reason why she is that way is because our main character Iki, he actually had a really bad uh, childhood, because he is from a family who descends from a samurai called Roma who won the war, a world war, and therefore him not having any abilities basically caused him to be like ignored by his family, like he didn't exist. So it was so bad because, let's say, a celebration like Christmas, there was no seat for him. I'm pretty sure there was no gifts for him. It was actually so bad that he ran away in a snowstorm, and he was about to die. And if it wasn't because of his grandfather, Roma, that samurai I talk about, he would have died. But Roma tells him that he has to keep that in mind, that he is not strong, because then he can become strong. And that is actually a really good one, because if you think yourself strong, you will fall to Hebrews and think that no one can beat you. But if you think you are weak, then you will never underestimate an opponent. So yeah, Suzuki isn't actually a bad girl, because she wanted to give him all the fatherly, motherly, sisterly, brotherly love that he never had. That's why she kissed him. So yeah, I have new respect for his sister. Also, Nagi, her roommate, I I really want to know more about him, because he says to her that he knew someone like her in the past, and it sounds like that person he knew died. So I really want to know that. But we also get introduced to a new character like Kagami, who is a glasses girl who, yeah, she runs or plans to run a newspaper club. And there's two really funny things. First, she just want to interview Iki because he beat the princess, but when the princess, because of Suzuki, basically like kissing him, tells like the entire room that that Iki is her master and she is his servant, the Kagami makes up like some like front page news. You basically see like in where there is like a newspaper machine running, and it says like a princess and a failed knight shares a room for 22 hours. Like they're doing it for that long, man. And if they was doing that, that's pretty impressive considering that. A little fun thing: I actually once saw the person's the person who had the record for doing basically rubbing it the most times in 24 hours, and his hands they was they looked like they was fucking burned, like they had what's it called, wobbles on wobbles on wobbles, and then those wobbles was burned. That was sick. I must say, that is sick, and that is unofficial. That is really sick. But let's talk about our main character and Stella also, because oh no, let's actually talk about the teacher that was introduced in this also, Yuri Uriki or Yuri-chan. I freaking love her. She is like, he looks like you remember if you have seen Shimoneta, the doctor there. She looks like her, and she is so. I love her personality. She is waifu material. She is freaking waifu material. I would bang her, and it's not because she looks good. It's just the personality. I freaking love that. I freaking love it. I freaking love it. And then at the end, when she is like, after explaining how they are to graduate, which is another thing I actually forgot to bring up. That is that is Iki's family has actually, let's say, pestered the school, so he kind of can't graduate. However, thanks to Kurono is being director now, he can actually graduate. So yeah, that's good. But as I was saying, it's so funny because after she explains that, she basically like coughs up blood, and then we get told that she actually she is sick or something, because every day she cough up like 1 liter of blood, which is, as I recall, that is like 2 seconds, guys. Sorry about that. That is like 10. I think it's 15% of your blood. So she's pretty sick. However, as you said, I didn't want to appear sick in front of the class because this was a day of celebration. So yeah, I love her. And also in this episode, Stella, best girl. She is best girl because in the beginning of this episode, we see them like running, and then when Iki offers her a sports drink where he just has been drinking off, she says it would be like an indirect kiss. And then when he says, "Oh, I guess you don't want to drink it," and then she says, "No," then like quiet. No, actually, the opposite. So she loves her main character, and I feel like it's not harem love. I could actually see this being a general romance. This this is so good. This is much better than, yeah. Let's not mention that show, please, because I don't know. I think 3 or 4 times now I already mentioned it. So yeah, and and the ending when she gives him a special service. First of all, she cooks his food, and yeah, in some very good clothing. And then she comes out while he is in a shower because she want to wash him, and that swimsuit she has, that is pretty kinky stuff, I must say. And then when it falls off her swimsuit, yeah, the classic things. Oh yeah. I like especially when she asks like, "Do you like girls' breast and stuff?" Because you seemed happy when Suzuki was kissing you and rubbing them against you. So yeah. Oh man, I like Stella. And then when Iki he admits that he does, he's not like one, like, oh, it's so good, man. It's so good. Also, I like how Suzuki basically because and Stella gets like punished because they fought in the hallway with weapons, which they ain't allowed to. They are only allowed in special areas. So they are like to 1 week clean all 27 bathrooms. And I like how they are basically like all that time they are basically smack talking each other. Like Stella talks to Suzuki about her washboard, and Suzuki talks about Stella's Mount Everest. Yeah, it's so good, this series, man. I freaking love it. However, I don't think I'm gonna go directly to episode 3 because it took me an hour to watch this show because I had so many fangasms. I don't know how many pictures I have. I don't know how many pictures. Just because it was so good. And yet, guys, I will say to you all, if you haven't already watched this, please go watch it. You will not regret it. I even told a guy who hates fan service anime to watch this because this is not a fan service anime. This is so great anime. It has fan service, but oh man, I really hope that this isn't picked up by Aniplex because then it's gonna be hell to purchase. Oh wait a second, no, this is picked up by Sentai, so oh man, that's gonna be so good. Oh, how am I looking forward to getting this in my collection, guys. But all of you guys and girls, have a good day, good night, wherever you are, and I will see you later. Cheers, people.